Malolele.
Malolele, Dr. Api Hake.
Saipe.
Thank you so much for coming into our home. This is my family, and so Dr. Api, we are all double vaccinated, so you don't have to worry about it. In saying that, I have 3 teenagers. I have my little brother and my uncle staying with us. Now, for an example, if uncle gets COVID, we want to know how are we going to look after him at home and what is it going to look like?
That's a really good question. I mean, it's a typical Pacifica family, and so it's fantastic to be able to plan now, and I'm really happy to walk you through some of the things that you and the family can do to protect each other if someone tests positive for COVID.
Great, so should we go inside and you can take us through what it's going to look like?
I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Dr. Api, what happens if uncle is tested positive for COVID?
The most important thing is nobody can leave the house for the next 10 days unless you've got to go out and get a test done. Then you've got to find a room where uncle can go and isolate, but make sure the room is well ventilated. And for the rest of the family, when you're dealing with uncle, make sure that you've got a mask on.
So Dr. Api, would this be a good room for isolation?
This is perfect. Uncle can be in here, have his own space. It's well ventilated and the kids can even interact from the outside. It's important that just because they've got COVID, we don't lock them away. It's important that we can still interact in a safe way.
This is a tricky question. We only have 1 bathroom. How are we going to navigate that?
We have to maintain the dignity and privacy of the infected person, and it takes a bit of organizing with the rest of the family so that everybody uses the bathroom first before the infected person can use it, and after that it is wiped down by a person wearing mask and gloves.
Great, but in reality really, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
That's true, and so we can do the best we can. But as soon as the infected person has finished with the bathroom, that needs to be wiped down again with someone wearing gloves and masks.
So Dr. Api, food, how is that going to look like here at home?
Yeah, we still need to make sure that they're eating and drinking well, so we deliver it on a tray to outside their door, knock on the door and let them know that it's there. Afterwards, uncle can leave the empty plate outside the door and someone can pick them up to bring them back to the kitchen.
Oh, that's so good to know.
Should we wear gloves?
Oh, interesting.
That's a really good idea. When we're handling anything from uncle, it's really important to wear gloves to protect ourselves.
Dr. Api, what happens if we want to interact with uncle in a safe place?
This is a really good place to interact because it's nice and open, well ventilated.
But what if family come to drop off food?
It's fantastic they do that, but you can't interact with them. They can drop it off at the door and you can pick it up later.
Let's say if uncle's got COVID, how do I know when to get medical attention?
That's a really good question because he needs to be monitored. One of the things we use is a pulse oximeter, which measures your oxygen concentration, and you just open it up and put it on his finger like that and wait for the readings. If it's over 95%, he'll be fine. If it's less than that, he needs medical assistance. If someone else tests positive, then everybody needs to start their 10 days of isolation again. And this can get quite hard and tricky, so you can ask for managed isolation facility.
And that's MIQ.
That's correct.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. I appreciate your help.
You're very welcome. It was my pleasure. Malo Alpito.